On a distant planet, the sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the human army's camp. Soldiers moved about, preparing for what they believed would be another routine mission. The air was filled with the sounds of chatter, laughter, and the clanging of equipment. In the center of the camp, Commander Harris stood tall, surveying the scene. He was a seasoned leader, respected by his troops. Yet today, there was a tension in his chest that he couldn't shake. Harris glanced at the rookie soldier, Private Jenna Lee. She was new to the army, full of energy and questions. Her bright eyes scanned the camp, taking in every detail. Jenna approached Harris, a mixture of curiosity and concern on her face. "Commander, do you really think it will be that easy?" she asked, her voice steady. Harris smiled gently. "We've faced tough missions before, Jenna. This one will be no different." But deep down, Harris felt uncertainty. Rumors had been spreading about strange sightings in the skies. Some soldiers whispered of alien ships appearing near the planet. Harris brushed it off, telling himself it was just fear talking. Yet as he prepared his troops, he couldn't ignore the nagging feeling in his gut. As the day wore on, the soldiers trained and shared stories. They spoke of their families back on Earth, dreaming of returning home soon. Laughter echoed through the camp, but Harris noticed that some faces were drawn and worried. He called a meeting to address their concerns. "Listen up, everyone!" Harris bellowed, commanding attention. "I know there are whispers about aliens, but I assure you, we are prepared. Stay sharp and focused. We've trained for this." The soldiers nodded, but a few still looked skeptical. Jenna watched her fellow soldiers, feeling the weight of their anxiety. She stepped forward, raising her hand. "What if we're not ready? What if they really do come?" Harris's heart sank. He admired her courage, but he also understood the fear. "We'll face whatever comes together. Trust in your training and in each other." As night fell, the camp settled into a cautious calm. Guards were posted, and the stars twinkled overhead. But the tranquility was short-lived. In the early hours, a piercing alarm shattered the silence, echoing through the camp like a scream. Soldiers rushed from their tents, hearts racing. "Enemy ships detected! All units, prepare for battle!" The loudspeaker blared. Harris felt his pulse quicken. This was it, the moment he had dreaded. He rallied his troops, shouting orders as they scrambled to their stations. Jenna joined her fellow soldiers, adrenaline pumping through her veins. She had trained for this, but nothing could prepare her for the sight that awaited. As the aliens' ships descended from the dark sky, a wave of fear washed over the humans. The ships were massive, sleek and ominous, glinting with an otherworldly light. They hovered silently, casting shadows over the camp. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. "Commander, what do we do?" Jenna shouted over the chaos. "Hold your positions," Harris commanded, trying to project confidence. "We need to assess their intentions." But as the alien ships opened fire, the first blasts lit up the night sky, sending shock waves through the camp. Explosions rocked the ground and chaos erupted. Soldiers scrambled for cover, their training forgotten in the face of such overwhelming power. Jenna ducked behind a nearby crate, heart racing. She watched in horror as fellow soldiers fell, their faces twisted in fear. The aliens were here, and they were not holding back. "Fall back! Fall back!" Harris yelled, realizing the dire situation. "We need to regroup." As the commander led the retreat, Jenna felt a mix of fear and determination. She had never imagined facing an enemy like this. The sounds of battle echoed in her ears, but she refused to let panic take hold. "Stay together," she shouted, rallying the soldiers around her. "We can't let them break us!" But as they retreated, Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The calm they had known was gone, replaced by the storm of battle that had come crashing down. The fight for survival had only just begun. The chaos of the night was still fresh in the minds of the soldiers as they regrouped in a makeshift command center. Commander Harris stood at the front, his face grave. Around him, soldiers whispered nervously, their faces pale with fear. Private Jenna Lee could see the worry etched on everyone's expressions. The attack had come suddenly, leaving them in shock. "Listen up!" Harris called, trying to restore order. "We need to gather intel on the enemy. We don't know what they want yet, but we need to prepare for anything." Jenna felt a surge of determination. They couldn't let fear control them. The aliens had shown their power, but she believed that humans could find a way to fight back. She glanced at her fellow soldiers, seeing that some were still trembling. They needed a plan, and fast. Suddenly, the ground shook as another blast echoed from outside the command center. The soldiers jumped, hearts racing. "Get ready!" Harris shouted. "We need to move out and gather information." With renewed energy, the soldiers scrambled to their feet, grabbing their weapons and gear. Jenna felt adrenaline pumping through her veins. This was her chance to prove herself. They hurried out into the dark, the glow of the alien ships illuminating the sky. As they stepped outside, Jenna's breath caught in her throat. The alien ships loomed overhead, their shapes both beautiful and terrifying. They floated silently, a mix of advanced technology and eerie design. It was unlike anything Jenna had ever seen. "Form a line!" Harris ordered. The soldiers lined up, trying to steady their nerves. Jenna looked up at the ships, her heart pounding. She felt a strange pull, as if the ships were watching them. Suddenly, a bright light shot down from one of the ships, illuminating a clearing nearby. A low hum filled the air, and Jenna squinted against the brightness. "What is that?" she whispered, fear creeping in again. "It could be a landing pod," one of the soldiers said, trembling. "They might be sending troops down." Harris raised his hand. "Stay calm. We need to see what they want." He motioned for a small group to follow him toward the light. Jenna felt a mix of fear and excitement as she stepped forward. As they approached the clearing, the light faded, revealing a strange figure. It was tall and slender, with shimmering skin that seemed to change colors in the light. The alien had large, expressive eyes that looked curious and intelligent. Jenna felt her breath catch. This was first contact. "Commander!" one of the soldiers gasped. "What do we do?" Harris took a deep breath, stepping forward. "We don't want to fight. We come in peace." His voice was firm, but Jenna could see the uncertainty in his eyes. The alien tilted its head, studying them. It raised a hand, and Jenna instinctively stepped back, heart racing. But then the alien spoke, its voice echoing like a melody. "We are not here to harm you." The words surprised everyone. Jenna's heart raced with hope. Could it be true? The alien continued, "We seek understanding. Your planet is rich in resources, and we wish to form an alliance." Harris exchanged glances with his team. Jenna saw a mix of fear and hope on their faces. This was a chance for peace, but would they trust the alien? "What do you want in return?" Harris asked cautiously. "We have seen the destruction your ships can cause." The alien nodded slowly. "We understand your fears. We wish to share knowledge and protect our worlds from a greater threat." It paused, its eyes locking onto Harris's. "The galaxy is in danger, and we need your help." Jenna felt a spark of excitement. This could be their opportunity to unite, to stand against a common enemy. But doubts still lingered. The soldiers whispered among themselves, uncertain of the alien's true intentions. "Think about it," Jenna spoke up, her voice steady. "If we join forces, we could learn from each other. We could be stronger together." Harris looked around at his team, weighing their options. Finally, he turned back to the alien. "We will consider your offer, but trust must be earned." The alien nodded, respect shining in its eyes. "We understand. We will give you time. Choose wisely." The team gathered around her, a mix of seasoned soldiers and fellow rookies. Commander Harris had chosen 5 people to join Jenna: Corporal David, a tech expert; Sergeant Mia, a skilled strategist; Private Leo, who had a knack for languages; and Specialist Anya, a medic. Each of them looked nervous but determined, ready to face the unknown. "All right, everyone," Jenna said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We need to stick together. Our goal is to gather information and see if we can build trust. If we succeed, it could change everything for both our worlds." The team nodded, a shared sense of purpose binding them together. As they made their way toward the alien ship, Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that this was a critical moment. They approached the ship, its sleek surface shimmering in the early light. The entrance opened with a soft hiss, revealing a glowing interior that beckoned them inside. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was unlike anything Jenna had experienced. The walls pulsed with light, and strange symbols glimmered all around. The air felt charged with energy. Jenna took a deep breath, stepping forward with her team. They moved cautiously, eyes wide with wonder and fear. Suddenly, the alien they had encountered before appeared before them. Its presence filled the room, and Jenna felt a mix of awe and apprehension. "Welcome," it said, its voice melodic and calm. "You have come to learn." "Yes," Jenna replied, finding her voice. "We want to understand your technology and what you seek from us." The alien nodded, its eyes reflecting curiosity. "We will show you, but first you must trust us. Your fears will not help us unite against the real threat. Jenna exchanged glances with her team, their expressions revealing the struggle between doubt and hope. We're willing to try, she said firmly. With a wave of its hand, the alien led them deeper into the ship. They entered a large chamber filled with screens displaying information about the galaxy. Images of war, destruction, and despair filled the space. Jenna's heart sank as she realized the stakes were much higher than she had imagined. Many worlds suffer, the alien explained, its voice grave. We face a powerful enemy who seeks to control everything. We need your help to fight back. Jenna's mind raced. This was not just about their survival. It was about protecting countless lives across the galaxy. What can we do? She asked, her determination growing. The alien motioned toward a massive holographic display. We need you to understand our technology. Together we can create a strategy to combat the enemy. You have strengths we do not possess. As they worked alongside the aliens, Jenna felt a bond forming. They shared knowledge, exchanging ideas and skills. Corporal David and the alien engineers worked on advanced weapons systems, while Private Leo translated alien concepts into human terms. Each moment brought new insights, and Jenna felt hope blossoming. Hours passed as they delved deeper into the technology. Jenna could see the potential for a powerful alliance forming before her eyes. The fear that had gripped her team began to fade, replaced by a sense of purpose. They were no longer just soldiers, they were part of something greater. Finally, as they wrapped up their collaboration, the alien looked at Jenna with appreciation. You have shown courage and openness. Together we can face the darkness ahead. Jenna smiled, feeling a rush of pride. We won't let you down. We'll fight alongside you. As they prepared to leave the ship, Jenna turned to her team, a sense of unity shining in their eyes. They had taken a huge step toward forging an alliance. It was a turning point, not just for them, but for the future of both species. As they stepped back into the sunlight, Jenna felt the weight of responsibility shift into something lighter, a shared burden, a partnership. The battle ahead would be tough, but now they had each other, and together they would face whatever challenges awaited them. The fight was just beginning, but for the first time, Jenna felt truly ready to take it on. The air was thick with tension as Jenna and her team prepared for the showdown. After days of hard work alongside the aliens, they had devised a plan to confront the looming threat. The sun hung low in the sky, casting an orange glow over the battlefield, but there was no time to appreciate its beauty. Today they would fight for their worlds. Jenna stood with Commander Harris at the front of the human camp. The alien forces gathered nearby, their ships glimmering in the light. They were ready to fight together. Jenna felt a mix of fear and determination swelling inside her. This was the moment they had worked so hard for. Listen up! Harris shouted, rallying the soldiers. We have a powerful ally now. The aliens know our enemy and have shared their technology with us. We fight together and we will win! The soldiers nodded, their faces a mix of anxiety and hope. Jenna could see that they were ready to do whatever it took to protect their home. The aliens began to share their advanced weapons, and Jenna felt a thrill of excitement. They would be stronger together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, darkness enveloped the battlefield. Suddenly, the ground shook. The enemy had arrived. Jenna's heart raced as she spotted the enemy ships approaching, dark and menacing against the night sky. Get into position, Harris ordered, his voice steady. The soldiers rushed to their stations, readying their weapons. Jenna felt adrenaline coursing through her veins as she grabbed her rifle, the weight of it comforting in her hands. The first wave of enemy ships swooped down, and the air filled with the sound of engines roaring. Jenna took a deep breath, focusing on the task ahead. She could see the aliens readying their own defenses, their sleek ships moving gracefully as they took aim. Now! Harris shouted, and a bright flash lit up the night as the first shots were fired. Jenna's heart pounded in her chest. She squeezed the trigger, watching as her shots hit their targets. The enemy ships exploded in bursts of light. The battle intensified, with explosions lighting up the sky. Jenna and her team fought side by side with the aliens, a united front against a common enemy. She could hear the shouts of her fellow soldiers and the alien battle cries mixing together in a chaotic symphony. In the heat of the battle, Jenna saw Corporal David working frantically on a new weapon. Jenna! Cover me! He shouted, and she nodded, firing at the approaching enemy. David's quick thinking was paying off. The new weapon fired powerful blasts that tore through the enemy's defenses. As they fought, Jenna noticed a massive enemy ship hovering above them, its ominous shadow casting over the battlefield. "We have to take that ship down," she yelled to Harris, her determination growing. "Let's do it," Harris replied, rallying their forces. "Everyone aim for that ship." With the soldiers focused, Jenna could see the alien ships forming a line beside them, ready to assist. Together, they unleashed a volley of firepower, their combined strength pushing back the enemy. The massive ship shook as explosions rocked it, but it still hovered dangerously above. Jenna spotted a group of aliens maneuvering near the enemy ship, using their advanced technology to create a distraction. "We need to hit it while they're distracted," she shouted. Harris nodded, leading the charge. Jenna felt her heart racing as they pushed forward, firing at the massive ship. Each shot felt like a statement of defiance against their enemy. They were not going to back down. Suddenly, the enemy ship fired back, sending a blast that knocked Jenna off her feet. She landed hard on the ground, gasping for breath. Pain shot through her side, but she pushed herself up, determined not to let fear take hold. "Jenna!" Corporal David shouted, running to her side. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she replied, gritting her teeth. "We need to keep fighting!" With renewed energy, Jenna joined her team as they moved toward the enemy ship. The battle raged on, but they were determined to win. Together, they fired their weapons, hitting the ship repeatedly. Finally, with a deafening explosion, the massive enemy ship began to break apart. Jenna felt a rush of triumph as the enemy forces began to retreat, their ships scattering like leaves in the wind. The battlefield erupted in cheers as the last of the enemy forces fled. Jenna looked around, her heart swelling with pride. They had done it. They had fought for their survival, and together they had won. As the dust settled, Jenna stood with her team and the aliens, a newfound bond between them. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious. This was just the beginning of a new alliance, one that would change the course of their worlds forever. In that moment, Jenna knew they had taken the first step toward a brighter future, one where humanity and their alien allies would stand together against any threat. The fight had brought them closer, and they were ready to face whatever came next.